Alright YouTube, welcome back. I'm sitting here in Jamie Carr's HQ and I've got a month of oil issues. Time to crowdsource this thing. Jump down there below, give me your comments. I'm going to bring you up to speed. How did we get here with the free Volvo XC90 V8? And by the way, jump onto the Jamie Carr's and hit subscribe. But how did we get to here? April 2025, we drove down near Casa Bonita in Denver and picked up a free Craigslist V8 only to discover oil leaks everywhere underneath, and it had been leaking a long time with a lot of cruddy residue buildup. It's everywhere, from the rear, the front, the back, the sides, the top. And then I did the oil change, and look, this is the worst oil filter I had ever seen. Full of crud. I have no idea how long that oil filter had been on the car. August 2025, dove into the top of the engine to get the valve cover seals replaced, pulled the valve covers off, and found a very, very cruddy, gross, oily residue, oil patina everywhere. This thing was nasty everywhere. Cleaned it up, got all the valve covers cleaned up, took a lot of work, got them put back onto the car. Also, August 25, did the timing cover seals. September 25, lower oil pan seals, and most recently, December, I did my last oil change with an oil cooler seal. Let's do a quick replay of two video segments from the last repair video on the XC90 when I found the pieces of metal. I've seen some little specks, but I think it's just dirt. I do have a magnet. We'll see if anything sticks. Magnet on the back side of my Alex. Ooh, that might have been metal. One little piece of metal right there. Alright, I'm going to keep an eye on this because I just checked after draining the oil filter and I found two more little specks in the oil pan after scouring the whole thing. Two more little dots there, so there's three total that came out. But I'm not seeing any signs of anything shiny inside the oil filter itself. Alright YouTube, here we go. We're going to cut into this. Luckily, it's a cartridge oil filter, so it comes out nice and easy. I don't have to can opener metal housing at all. So I'm just going to hack it apart here and see if I can get the ends off, and then we'll open it up and separate it out and get a magnet in there a little easier. I looked at it with the flashlight and I didn't really see anything, but you can't see very good. So let's go ahead and do this. Just hack it apart. Let's see what we find. So looks to have a perforated plastic core. So we just gotta get all the way to the core on this side. It should separate. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's just a little, I thought it'd be like a metal spring or something, but it is not on this car. Oh, yep, I see shiny little dots. Very small. Well, maybe not. It might just be the lighting. Let's see if any of this is metallic. I'm going to run my magnet over it. Give me a second. Dirty. Where did I put my flashlight? Hang on. All right. Got my legit street cars. It's got a magnet in the end of it. Let's just open this up. Let's find a place where we start, where we know we started from. Is there a seam anywhere? How if I just rip it? There we go. All right, gonna run this through here. See if we find anything that comes to the magnet. Starting to feel a little bit better. Obviously, I know that I don't know about Volvo specifically on this car, but I was reading about them last night, that some of the bearing surfaces, the main bearings and the cam bearings and all that kind of stuff, are metal composites, and they may have brass or copper in them. Obviously there might be aluminum in there, and obviously those metals are not magnetic, so they're not going to be found, but they could be present. I'm not finding any big ones, and like none of these are even as big as the one that I found yesterday. So this is very optimistic. Okay, what do we got on here? Let me run my fingers over it. Some tiny, like, so I can feel them, but they're so small I can't even see them. And let me shine this a little bit brighter. Man, this light's great. So what is that? That looks, see that little shiny thing right there? But it also doesn't look silver when I light it up. It looks a different color. Came off on my finger. Nope, it's like, it's white. It's not metallic. So nothing metallic came out of the filter. That's good. Or maybe it's bad because it's not getting filtered. Who knows? So here's my plan. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm now $5 grand deep into rebuilding this XC90. Oil in the, finding shiny bits of metallic oil, or metallic bits in my oil change yesterday was not in the rebuild plan. All right, so just gonna give you a little perspective of what I'm seeing from up on top. There it is. Not really, there's nothing metallic, nothing really in there, nothing close to the 3 bits that I found yesterday. Nothing. Doesn't mean that there's not more somewhere in that oil catch basin. But they're not here, and there are only 3 in the drain pan. So now what do? You saw how bad that oil filter was plugged up before, back in, what is that, 6 months ago, 7 months ago? On the very first oil change when we picked it up. And you saw how dirty the inside of the engine was when I opened up the valve covers and the timing cover. Is it possible that these were just old bits of metal from prior deferred poor maintenance schedules? And by doing the engine oil treatment, cleaning treatment, I did sea foam 3,000 miles ago, and I did it 3,000 miles recently, or yesterday. So it's had that done twice. Is it possible it's just that gunk is freeing up, working itself out with good oil changes? Because this is probably the 5th time I've changed the oil since I've had the car. And that was the longest run, 3,000 miles. Is it possible that the gunk is just releasing in there, slowly cleaning out, and these are old bits? It's not something that's current? Because it makes no noises at startup, no noises at idle, doesn't do anything funky, doesn't have any weird sounds whatsoever. It just drives great. So what do I do now? Chime in down below. Give me your professional YouTube opinions out there. Remember, I'm not a mechanic. I'm doing this just to see if I can. So what do I do with the Volvo V8 XC90? I think I just drive it. Let's put another 3,000 miles on it. We'll drop the oil again and see if there's any more bits. Wonder what it looks like underneath. I wonder if I still have my little drippy area on the weep hole on the back of the engine, where I might have a possible leak for the rear main seal. All right, I just took a look under here, and that is not a good sign. And that, can you see it? Right there in the middle of your screen, that's an even worse sign. 2 little drips coming out of the weep hole for the rear, where the rear main seal would drain down between the engine and the transmission in the bell housing there. So that's not positive. I don't know why I decided to do it now, because 3 weeks ago when I did the power steering clips, which are still working perfect, that was totally dry, bone dry. So I think I'm just gonna not fix any more oil leaks. I'm definitely not dropping the subframe and going all the gangbusters pulling this engine down and getting access to do that, while I might have metal shards in my oil change. So I say we just drive it and we monitor this, and maybe I put some, I think it was called Blue Devil or something like that, little Ceal sweller in there. I've read of a lot of people that have minor ones like this where they're not losing a lot of oil, that they can actually just get that thing to swell up and seal itself shut. So temporary fix, obviously, but better than spending more money when I might have metal shards in here. All right, drove 35 miles last night. It's been sitting for about 12 hours in the garage. No drips on the cardboard. Let's angle this up and let's check out our weep hole. Where the heck is it? Oh, it's over here on this side. Just a little drip sitting there. I did order some ATP AT205. Should be here in about 5-6 days. So I'm gonna just add it in there and see if we can swell that rear main seal just a wee bit and get this. But that's way better than it was after 10 miles of driving it in the car wash the other day. So maybe it's improving. I don't know. All right, well, it's Christmas Eve. Hopefully everybody has a good Christmas out there in YouTube land. The Volvo V8 drove to Denver and back yesterday, so it's got 50 miles on it. I had wiped it off and cleaned it on the bottom side before it took off, so let's roll under here. So nice because it's up high. I don't even have to jack it up to see underneath this one. So I'm going to roll under and let's see how much has seeped onto the, or out of the weep hole. Still to be determined. Well, that's great news. There's nothing on the cardboard. What do we got? You actually have a better view. Oh, it's over here. It's dry. I'm not seeing anything. All right, I'm looking at what you're looking at because I'm not in close enough. Hang on, let me scooch. Just a wee bit at the weep hole. All right, and what about up front? This mount is looking dry now. Oh my goodness, are we fixing ourselves here? Oh goodness, please cross my fingers. All right, we drove it a little over 100 miles Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, YouTube. And it's not seeping oil out the weep hole. Still might be a little wet back there where the engine and transmission are coming together right on the edge there, all the way at the very back at the end of my finger. Gonna keep an eye on this. All right, we drove another 40 miles 24 hours ago. No drips on the cardboard in the garage, and still... Let me tilt you up so let's find our weep hole. It's over here. Always go too far to the center. There it is. There's nothing on it. Is it possible it was just old oil that had to run down through the gunk as we drive it and let it heat up and burn away? But it doesn't seem to be adding any more. Yeah, that's great news. All right, so I bought this AT205 online. Took about a week or 10 days holiday delays for it to get here. I was planning on putting that in the oil to see if we could swell the rubber seal on the rear main seal from the inside with the oil, but it doesn't seem to be creating any more leak. So my thought now is we hold off on this. We're gonna drive this XC90 V8. There it is, the V8. We're gonna drive this down to Ojo Caliente, about 30 miles from Taos, New Mexico, and back here in a week. So my thought now is let's just drive it the way it is and see how bad it leaks after, 600 to 800 miles worth of driving. All right, so I'm still toying. Is that a rear main seal leak? And I'm starting to think it is a little bit. I also think just on underneath, just past towards the rear of the car, where the muffler or where the exhaust pipe, the front exhaust bank goes through, underneath the upper oil pan in that little cutout, I think it's leaking above that or blowing from the rear main seal where it's coming out the weep hole, but it's oily up there. So I think it's probably a combo of the upper oil pan seal and the rear main seal. But what I'm going to do now, I changed my mind. I'm going to put in the AT205. This is 8 fluid ounces. It's supposed to treat 6 quarts. This car has 7.1, so it's going to be a little thin on the dilution. I'm also going to put just a little bit in the power steering fluid to see if I can improve. The car's power steering works, doesn't make any noises. It's just a little weak when the car is stopped. So see if we can swell some seals in there and just make it work a little bit better. And then we'll pour the remainder, maybe just less than an ounce I'm going to put in the power steering. I think it technically calls for 1.5 ounces. But when you do power steering, so we're just going to put less than 1 ounce and we'll pour the rest into the oil. Drive this thing to Ojo Caliente in New Mexico, and we'll check it when we get back. Maybe it dried up a little bit. All right, YouTube, we're taking Ravna, the XC90 V8, on its first extended road trip. 250 miles one way to Taos, New Mexico, actually Ojo Caliente, for a little family vacation this winter. Its first road trip. AT205 has been in there, I think, for 6 days. I looked last night. the weep hole looked dry. It looks like it's the rear main seal, that little weep, that little seeping oil leak on the back of the engine is going away. So 250 miles one way, 500 miles one round trip. We'll see how it looks when we get back. Jump down there, hit subscribe. If you're seeing this, we most likely make it, or something major happened and this is a lead into a new adventure. All right, quickly hit down there, jump on that subscribe button, help the channel out. Appreciate you. Be safe. Yeah, time to get my soak on. Ojo Caliente, New Mexico. Did I say 250 miles? It's 350 miles, and we averaged 21.5 miles per gas, and we were not driving easy. We could have gone as fast as we wanted to with this V8 over La Vida Pass. This car is absolutely amazing. Time to get some R&R. I will see you next week. What a machine! The XC90 V8 screams up the mountain passes, driving high altitude from Boulder to Taos to Ojo Caliente and back. Screaming as fast as we want to go over La Vida Pass. This thing is amazing. We have driven 694.7 miles and averaged round trip 22.6 miles per gallon. That would have been, I bet, another mile higher if we wouldn't have hit all the heavy crosswinds on the way to Taos on I-25. But wow, I love it. Tomorrow we see if we have any oil leak. But today, it's amazing. All right, we've been home since Wednesday. It's now Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, sun's setting. It's getting cold in the garage. Got the V8 in here up on the ramps. Let's go see what our weep hole oil seep looks like after over 700 miles, probably 750, 780 at this point. I hope we drove to Denver, I drove to Boulder, probably close to 800 miles. Let's check it out. All right, it looks fairly good. This front area is dry. Weep hole area here, right along. This is my, I'm shining a light on my lower torque mount. And there, right in the center of the picture, is the weep hole. There is nothing coming out of it. However, there's a little bit of oiliness right here on the back side, like right where the drain plug is, but it is not the drain plug. Let me slide back here. This whole front side that we worked on seems really good. Maybe a little bit of leakage way up. Actually, that's looking pretty good up there. Pretty happy with that. This seems to be drying out. But back here, this little edge of the lower drain pan is a little bit of stained oil on it, a little bit of wet seeping. It's wet up there just above the exhaust. You can kind of see that up in there where the light's at, and it looks to be coming up on the midsection of the oil pan, somewhere up in there that you can't see. On this back side has a seep. So in my feeling on this at the moment, it's driving great. We're just going to drive it. Let's see how much it drips and leaks over the next oil change through 3,500 miles. And see how bad this gets. But for right now, I think it's okay. Because the next steps are dropping this exhaust. And I'm not you know, I need to go look. Because maybe I can get to the midsection or the upper section of the oil pan just by getting rid of the exhaust. May not have to get rid of the entire subframe because I don't have a rear main seal leaking is not really an issue anymore. So, I'm just going to monitor and let's drive this thing. Let's enjoy it. All right, YouTube. I think I'm going to wrap it up on this unknown possible continuing oil issues. All I got left is midsection of the oil pan, maybe a rear main seal, but that seems to be drying out or working since the AT205 went in, and monitoring that little piece of metal that was in the oil change, or 3 pieces of oil, or 3 pieces of magnetic metal that were in the last oil change. So I'll just monitor for that more closely. But for right now, I'm just going to enjoy this V8, drive the hell out of it because it's driving great. It's perfect. If I can do it, you can do it. Chime down there, give me some advice. Hope to see you soon. Be safe.